Maddie should be saying, I can draw a rectangle and half a circle. You have room right next to it, right? What do we know about our rectangle? 45 times 25. Grab a calculator. Here's our pattern. Set it up, use a calculator. Set it up, use a calculator. Set it up, use a calculator. Whatever you guys said it is. 1,125. Thank you.
Then we just had like half the area of the half circle. I mean, half the area of a.
We did half a circle right here yesterday. This half a circle started as a whole circle. What would I do if it was a whole circle? 3.14 times something. Do I actually want 30? The arrows say 30 is this whole thing. Is that what I want?
No, we need to divide that by 2.
So half of 30.
15. To the second half. So 15.
Set it up, type it in. Set it up, type it in. $225 times 3.14. 706.5. But there's only half a circle in our picture. So what should I do to 706.5? Set it up, type it in.
3.25.
I'm not quite done. Even if I labeled it, I'm not done. Thank you, Maddie. This half circle attached itself to my rectangle. So what could my math word for attached be? Add. 1125 plus 353.25. Did I write it right?
Yeah.
I see why this is called complex. Did I start with just a baby shape? Kinda, a rectangle. And then I added on to it, and that was a new formula. And then I had to add all that together. Woo! No wonder it's called complex. Second box. Kind of looks like a basketball court to me. Does it to you? So if I just look at the rectangle part of the gym, what do I know about the rectangle part of the gym, Bryn?
The length is 10 centimeters and the height is 1 centimeter.
So
Or 10 times.
Right. Last Thursday, everyone assured me they could do a rectangle. Then, if you don't play basketball, maybe you haven't seen this or watched basketball. But sometimes they're just done with their MCA test, so I think they're being a little wiggly. Sometimes they paint. Drake and Zach, what's this called? If you're inside the 3-foot line. Doesn't it have a name?
I don't know. The arc.
The arc?
Inside the arc.
Sometimes they paint inside the arc a different color. So it looks like this one got painted white. So anything inside there is worth 2 points. Layton?
It's called inside the paint.
No way. Inside the paint got painted? Huh.
That's actually.
Inside the paint got painted a new color. What shape is inside the paint? Well, here we are again. Half a circle. What do we need to know for half a circle?
Well, it's pointing to the radius instead of the diameter, so we'll have to
Don't we want radius?
No.
Oh, good. What should we do with the radius?
Times it by pi.
Times it by pi. And before that.
Like the 2 thing or whatever it's called.
Then Pete. Then you divide by 2. Because they only colored in half the circle. They only painted in the paint. Nine point something? Did you see that? I just estimated. Seems like I should be done, but if I just want the shaded part, is that like they attach something to it? Did they attach something to it? Subtract. I'm wondering if Layton is shooting from out here. He's standing in the shaded part, not the white part. Or maybe he's here, or maybe he's here, maybe he's here, maybe he's here. Full court shot, Layton, do you think you can make it?
Maybe.
Are we subtracting? Should be close to 40. Anybody get it? Addison? 1? Thank you, ma'am. How are we doing? Do you see why it's called complex?
Yes.
This isn't 2 times 2. Ready for box 3?
Yes.
Before we even start, do you think they connected 2 shapes and we should add them? Godiva and Maddie are shaking their head no. It looks like there used to be a blue circle to me. Right? And then someone put a white square on top of it. So would we add at the end or subtract? Subtract. Okay. We have our circles. And we have our square.
Do we have the diameter of the circle? Is that the 10 thing?
Oh, interesting question. It does say 10 right here. Do we want 10?
No.
Nope. We want
5.
5. What are we going to do with 5? Times it by 3.14. And squared. 5 times 5. 25 times 3.14. 75 or close to?
If there's no unit, please do.
Oh, we could just call it unit. There's one shape. What do we know about the square? Looks like 7.
The base is 7 and the cross is 7.
Well, what do we need to know for a square? The base and the height?
Makes a 90 degree.
True. So am I actually going to use this 10 that's in there?
No.
It's a distractor for the square. What do I need for the square? 7.
Is it square times 7?
It's a square, Drake says. So if one side's 7,
The other side's 7.
they're all 7. 7 times 7. What did we decide? Are we adding or subtracting? Bryn said, what should we label it? Units is fine. Look at number 4. What shapes do you have? Triangle and a circle. It would be really awkward if I came over and took your hand to draw the triangle for you. Would that be awkward? So why don't you just draw it? Triangle, circle. Mine aren't the neatest either. We'll survive. What do we know about the triangle?
The base is 10.
And one more thing for a triangle. Triangle? Allie, what a smart girl.
Equals half the base.
Allie was the first one to start looking in there to find the triangle.
35 times 7. 35.
Bryn, that mental math is just like spewing out of you. Half a 10, 5 times 7. Woo! What about our circle? The radius is 2.8. What do I do with the radius? And then square it. Probably have to type this one in. Sometimes ones that are tricky like this, I even type 2 times. So what should I do? Subtract. Close to 10?
10.3824.
Oh, see? Everyone forgets to label. Me too. Thank you for the reminder. You know how math teachers are always saying write it down? And then the students are always saying, why? This is too much for a brain to keep track of. Anyone's brain. Brain.
Oh, units. Is that like simplified down? Would that just be U10? How would you abbreviate that?
I have never seen it abbreviated. Two big ones left. Mine are stacked. Yours are side by side. So the questions are to the side of the shape. Do you see that? If you play football or soccer or run track, picture this like the inside of the track. Or here's the goal line. What's it called? End zone. Okay? So, what shapes do we have?
2 half circles and then rectangle. One circle.
What?
It doesn't tell me.
2 half circles?
One circle.
One. Oh, the length is, it says 125.
I'm cheating this a little bit and tracing this. So if you're saying if I have a half circle over here and a half circle over here,
Could be the same thing. Like 1 circle.
what? I didn't see that coming, did you?
No.
Craziness. So I really have a rectangle and a full circle, right? It says the length is 125. And the diameter is 45. How can the diameter help us?
Can you go to get the radius?
145 plus 4.
How can the diameter help us with the rectangle?
It's
Yeah, look at that. It matched up with the side of the rectangle. So it says, number 1, area of a rectangle. 125 times 45. Allison, 5625?
Yeah.
Thank you. What are we in here? Yards? Now I'm on circle. Area of both semicircles. Oh, both semicircles just made our whole circle. What do I need for that?
Do we have to get the radius?
Oh, we don't actually want a diameter. So how much is our radius?
22.5.
How'd you get that?
I divided 45 by 2.
45 divided by 2? I always have to type carefully on these. Lots of decimals. One 1589.625. Number 3, total. Add them together. My favorite part. We already did the hard work. Take the first shape plus the second shape. $7,214.625. How'd I do? Yes?
I just got 7,214.
You're on two. Did you round at some point?
No.
Well, there's gonna have to be a decimal because I have a decimal right here. Okay, whew. Have you ever been to the fields that are nice and green and pretty and it just makes you want to play soccer or football or lacrosse or run around the track, I guess. Because they fertilized it and made it so beautiful for us. This one says it costs, you probably had to pay a fee to do the sport, right? Okay, so they're using some of the fee money to fertilize the field. 11 cents per square yard. 1 yard, 11 cents. 2 yards, 22 cents. 3 yards, 33 cents. Who would like to do this until we get to 7,000 yards? Say no. No one wants to do this. Bryn.
Would you take the total field area and times that by 0.11?
That seems like a way better idea. Thank you for thinking of that, Bryn. Take the total times 11. Be careful, there's a lot of decimals.
So we could just round to 61, since money doesn't have any places.
Oh yeah, money only has 2 decimal spots. $793.61. Whew! No wonder you had to pay an activity fee. One more big one left. Do you have it in you?
Hopefully.
Yes, you can.
So wait, for this one, after we do the area of the circles, are we just gonna times that by 4 because there's 4 circles?
Well, that's a good idea. Let's take some baby steps here. Okay, so it says there's a garden. The outer shape is a square with a side length of 140. This is kind of like the pizza box from a minute ago. Yes, it's the side of a square, but it's also yeah, whatever. It has an effect on these circles. So when it says number 1, diameter of a circle, what's diameter? How far is diameter? All the way across.
I think that's a diameter.
It's 70 because there's 2, so you divide it by 2, which would be 70.
Oh yeah. If there's 2 circles stacked, it would be 140, just like the square. But if we only want 1 circle, that one's not squared because we didn't do the area yet. Speaking of area, the area covered by the roses, which is the 4 circles.
You have to divide by 2 to 70 is the diameter.
Is this it, Bryn?
Yes.
Thank you. So what did we just find?
Area of one circle.
The area of one circle. But how many circles are in the garden? Or you could do the same formula over and over and over again. Seems easier to times 4, right? You got a whole number. That doesn't happen very often.
Wood chips? What are wood chips?
Usually,
Wood chips.
does anybody have a flower garden at their house?
I wish I did. It's like a vegetable garden, but like it's still a little bit cold.
Usually, so that weeds don't grow in this extra spot, people either put rocks or wood chips. So what if I'm going to Menards and I'm trying to figure out how many bags of wood chips I need for all this extra spot? Area of what? The square, right? My garden started as a square before I planted anything in it. What do I know about the square? If one side's 140, they're all 140. So how am I going to do the area of that? Times them together. If you have a garden at your house, someone already did all of this math. Right. If you have a garden, someone at your house did this math, or they paid someone to do this math.
Or they were lazy to do any math and just dumped a ton of wood chips in. Or you just don't have wood chips in the grave.
Who just told me they're going to subtract the circle? Abby? Thank you. Because we're not putting wood chips over the whole thing. I don't want to wreck my roses. Also, if you don't measure ahead of time and you get to Home Depot and you're standing in the garden section and you say, I need some wood chips, they're going to say, well, how much? I don't know. You're going to look real silly. Got to measure ahead of time. So, anybody get 4,214?
Yeah.
Yay! Last question. What if each bag printed on the bag said it will cover 1,000 square feet?
Or 5 bags, because there wouldn't be enough for 4 bags, because 4 would only be.
So if you got 4 bags, you'd have to be okay with a couple bare spots.
If you got 5, you just have extra notes you put somewhere else, or just.
Yeah. You could have extra, share with a neighbor, bring it to your grandma's house.
Eat it.
Please don't eat it.
What?
What?